This week on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. The second half of the season is here, and the Jaguars face a crucial stretch.
We haven't won a game in a month, so we just got to win.
It starts this week in Indianapolis. We're sitting down with Doug Marrone for a look at Colts quarterback Andrew Luck. Plus,
I would like to call this division be a mean-ass hot rod, something that people can look at and I could be proud of.
We're going off the field and into the garage with Malik Jackson. All that and more ahead on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend.
This is TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. TIAA Bank, created to serve, built to perform.
How do you get on a run? Well, you got to win. Well, don't worry about the run, just get the win.
Before this team can think about making it back to the playoffs, they need to end a 4-game losing streak with a big win over the Colts. Hello and welcome to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. I'm Ashlyn Sullivan. The first half of the season didn't go the Jags' way. The next 8 weeks are an opportunity to get back where they need to be. The Jaguars can't drop another game in their division if they want to keep their season alive. The players and coaches did some soul-searching last week. Marrone was the first to say he doesn't want this team to be where they are.
What I want to do is I want to make sure that I get everything right, build it right, get the coaches right, go out there, and you know what? I don't have to effing stand up here and say, hey, it's my fault.
Football is a game of routine. Marrone threw that out the window this week. He changed the schedule and pushed practice back to later in the afternoon. The locker room is on board with whatever it takes to win.
If you can add a little change, it can be beneficial. I think he took the approach of what can I do, how can I help the team get back in the win column, and that's good leadership, and we all kind of have to take the mentality, what can we each individually do to help this team win? And if we all come up with that mentality, we're probably going to figure it out.
Blocking, tackling, and catching is not what this team wants to be focused on right now. However, with 4 losses in the past 5 weeks, it's time to get back to the basics.
At this level, it's easy for you to forget, different things as far as like watching the ball into the tuck, things that they've been teaching since you were a little kid. Just got to pretty much go back into that, and that's all it is. It's just playing fundamentally sound, and we haven't been doing that, and so it's up to us to, of course, get back on the right track and fix it.
There's still a lot of football left. This week will show us the locker room's will to get this season back on track. Joined now by Brian, Sexton, and John Oehser, and thanks to Subway for bringing us lunch today. We know that football is a game of routine, guys. Doug Marrone has completely thrown that out the window this week. Changed the time of practice, changed the time of walkthrough, the time of lunch. Everything has completely changed week 9 of the regular season.
And it's fine. There's nothing wrong with changing it. It felt to me like as much as the details of what might it actually do, it was more about let's make sure that the second 8 weeks feel nothing like the first 8 weeks. So in terms of attention grabbing, I say great. In terms of realistically how much they're going to gain from this extra 10 minutes, I don't know.
Yeah, so the optimist in me says, well, they focused. They changed their practice plan before they went to London and focused on takeaways and giveaways, and they had success there. So, but to me, the other side of it is more like a whiteboard, right? Just like you said. Mm-hmm. Just erase the first half of the season.
Forget this.
Yeah, exactly. Right. We're starting a new season right now. And they can do that because in the AFC South, they're not out of it, right? Mm-hmm. They've got 8 games in front of them, including 4 in the division. They can afford to try this, but it only works this week, right? You fall further behind, you can change anything and everything every week. It won't make any difference. It has to work this week.
Mm-hmm. And you're right in the middle of the season right now, and the last thing these guys want to be working on is fundamentals, but that's what they are. Blocking, tackling, catching, they focus on that this week.
Simple, easy, right? The basic stuff. If you can't master those things, and if you haven't mastered them, that's a problem. So if you can't do those, you can't go beat Andrew Luck. You've got to be able to block and tackle. We can't even get to rush and cover if we don't block and tackle, and they haven't blocked or tackled very well, particularly in the run game, John, which is an area we thought coming in was rock solid.
Well, it's an age-old thing. When you're struggling, especially defensively, make it simple, play faster, get to the ball. Problem is, we heard this 3 or 4 weeks ago, they've got to run better. They've got to do that basic better. I don't care about anything else at this point.
The vibe I've gotten in the locker room this week is that the players know the challenge ahead of them the next 8 weeks, but there's very little room for margin of error, and they seem to know that.
Well, the good news is there's a lot of football that to be played. The bad news is you got to win this week, and none of that football matters. So there's definitely a sense of urgency. There's a fresh start feel, but it's tainted by the fact that it's a must-win game. If you don't win, then after this, we're talking about different themes than we are right now.
Yeah, and I think it's important. So there is a sense of urgency, but it's not that rah-rah, come on guys, let's go. It's more individual than that. I mean, we heard Calais Campbell, who never uses the word me or mine or I, right? He never does that, talking about himself and what he has to do. In fact, I stopped him and asked him again, did you mean to say that? This team has to look internally. Doug challenged them when he stood in front of the media and said, it's my fault. He was encouraging each one of them to do the exact same thing. We're going to find out this week if each of them had that introspective look.
Definitely. Quickly, guys, big picture, what is this team fighting for the second half of the season? Is it still playoffs?
It's still the playoffs. I think to a degree, you're fighting to show yourselves that you're at least somewhat the team that you thought you were going to be. So fighting to play better, fighting to prove you're right about yourself. If that leads to a bunch of wins in the playoffs, so be it.
This week is the last playoff spot. Ask me next week if they don't win this week what they're fighting for.
Will do. There's more to come on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. Stay tuned. We have more ahead on Jaguars Weekend. After a slow start, the Colts have won 2 straight. Jeff Lageman is in the film room with Doug Marrone, breaking down one of the best arms in the league with Andrew Luck. We're also getting the locker room ready to head to Indianapolis with Jaguars FAQ. What city did the Colts play in before Indy?
Oh, Baltimore, they hate us.
But first, we have Know Your Jags, presented by Fields Automotive Group. This week, we're asking the hard-hitting questions. How do you like your eggs?
How do you like your eggs and why?
I love my eggs scrambled hard, no cheese. I don't like my eggs wet at all, scrambled hard, so never no wetness to my eggs. I like my eggs like that with some ketchup on the side.
Scrambled, man. I just don't do running. I gotta have them scrambled, cooked all the way through.
Eating egg any other way is just nasty.
Scrambled. I don't have to have anything on it, just scrambled.
I've always had them like that growing up, and I'm just used to it.
Just because one, it's easier to eat, and two, it's too much to do extra stuff with. If you just put anything else on it, it's just too extra. I want to get it done and eat it.
I like them sunny side up. It's just easier to eat to me, especially with the yolk and everything, so it's pretty good. It's fast to make.
I like my eggs over easy. I like the yolk. I like a little bit of salt and pepper on them, and that's probably my favorite way to do it.
I like them scrambled, just cooked all the way, nice and fluffy.
If you burn them, you're gonna make them again, or I'll make them again. But I like them scrambled, easy with seasoning.
I like them scrambled. I like them, obviously like them cooked. I just like to eat my eggs. I don't really think much of it. It's just breakfast.
I don't eat eggs, so I don't like them no type of way. Make sure you get them. I don't eat eggs.
Jaguars Weekend is presented in part by TIAA Bank, created to serve, built to perform, and Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save.
He's comeback player of the year. I don't think anybody else can win it. What he's doing this year, given the circumstances of the quarterback and missing 2 years and coming back and playing the way he's been playing. It's hands down, he's comeback player of the year.
Andrew Luck makes the Colts offense go. The Jaguars defense will be busy Sunday, trying to pressure one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league. Welcome back to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. I'm Ashlyn Sullivan. Andrew Luck has thrown for 23 touchdowns this season and has the best completion percentage of his career. His comeback story is one of a kind. Suffering a shoulder injury that some thought would end his career, Luck is back performing at the highest level. All eyes will be on the Jaguars defense to stop Luck this week. Jeff Lageman and Doug Marrone give us their insight on the Colts quarterback.
Doug, you guys have a great challenge defensively this week with the Colts offense. They've been running the football really well the last 2 weeks.
They really have. They've done a nice job of mixing it up. Obviously, they're running the ball very well, and their third down percentage is second in the league, so they're converting first downs. And I think it's something that's really helped them, and the offensive line has been a big part of that.
And Hines, who is a rookie running back, is running this. I guess you consider this a gap play because it's a trap and it's a very successful play. These quick hitters sometimes are hard to defend.
They really are, because what they're doing is they're giving you the illusion that they're running the inside trap, and then they're running like what we call a wham on the outside player. and really trying to create that seam. So again, obviously we've worked on it during the week, and we're getting ready to defend it, and it's one of those plays that kind of make you think, get you a little bit slower, and it's a tough play to defend.
And Marlon Mack, who missed part of the year early on because of injury, is back in action. Back-to-back 100 yards games, which is career best for him, and he's on a roll.
Yeah, and we knew he was a good back last year, and I think he's playing extremely well to a high level. But again, I think you look here and you look at the blocking and you look at how everyone is in sync, together and getting to their landmarks and getting push on the line of scrimmage. It's creating a lot of vertical lane for him to run through, and he's a quick back and he can run through tackles.
One thing that's very different with the Colts this year is the protection for Andrew Luck. The pocket that he's had, from me watching film, looks like it's much better, and obviously the numbers say that as well. He's only been sacked 10 times and not in the last 3 games. And this is a heck of a pocket for him to make this throw to Mo Alley Cox.
How about that? You know what I'm saying? How about that play right there? But again, I think it's like you said, I think, obviously they've invested a lot in that offensive line. There's 3 first-round draft picks, a second-round draft pick. They're really playing well together. And, obviously with a quarterback like Luck who can get rid of the ball and receivers that can get open and make plays like that, you can see a lot of guys aren't really getting to him.
Big football factory at Virginia Commonwealth University there. We're kind of joking here because they don't have football at VCU. But a lot of questions about Andrew Luck's arm. And I don't know what you would say about this play right here, because it's a little bit underthrown, but nonetheless, he still gets it to T.Y. Hilton.
There's no doubt. I think, obviously a lot of it is just the footwork of the quarterback coming up and hitching up in the pocket. But, he's really gained the arm strength. He's at, the highest level he's been at from a standpoint of, completion percentage. And obviously he's feeling very comfortable in that pocket. So he can take the ball deep if he wants to.
Boy, what is it, 5 consecutive games of 3 touchdowns or more for Andrew Luck. Big challenge for you guys.
Big challenge.
All right,
yes.
thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. We're back on the road this week, heading to Indianapolis. We're getting the locker room ready for the trip with Jaguars FAQ. Tommy Bohannon, are you ready to play the Jaguars trivia game that is sweeping the nation, Jaguars FAQ?
Let's do it.
I'm ready. I'm honored. I'm ready to go.
What annual car race is held at the Brickyard on Memorial Day in Indy?
The Indy 500.
Indy 500.
There we go.
There's the Indy 500, but then the Brickyard 400 is in September.
What future Hall of Fame quarterback has a statue outside Lucas Oil Stadium?
I'm assuming it's Peyton Manning.
Good assumption.
Good old Peyton Manning.
Good guy.
Yeah, number 18, the GOAT.
Peyton Manning.
What city did the Colts play in before Indy?
Oh, Baltimore, they hate us.
Houston.
Baltimore.
Indy is the first city to market what type of food?
Dang, well, they're known for their steak and shake and steakhouses. Market,
Indy's, I have no clue.
Bologna?
Use it for sandwiches.
Bread. Oh.
They were the first to create sliced bread.
Really?
Yep. Bet you didn't know that.
I obviously didn't know that.
I'll still give you a name. He's an expert in Indy.
All right, I can't wait. Let's go. Thank you.
There's more to come on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. Up next, we're in the garage with Malik Jackson and visit the kitchen with Game Day Grub.
Just the way I like it, Austin. Nice shot. Keep talking. Keep talking. Good progression. Good progression. Nice and easy and communicate to each other.
Throwing it back to OTAs with the offensive coordinator. Nathaniel Hackett has a tough task ahead, trying to revamp the Jaguars offense the second half of the season. Be sure to check out all the mic'd up features weekly on Jaguars.com. Welcome back to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. I'm Ashlyn Sullivan. Malik Jackson is known for disrupting quarterbacks on Sundays. On his off days, he spends his time in the garage. We follow the defensive tackle to a car shop for this week's Baptist Health feature.
Hey guys, Malik Jackson here at Pope Automotive. I'm gonna go check out my 55 gasser. Come with me. We're here at Flashpoint Fabrications. It's where our good buddy Chris is getting the body ready for paint and everything. And he's done a lot of work, and this came a long way, so we'll see it. This is it. This is it. This thing's dope. On the rotisserie, when you finally got up here. Wow, that back roll is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. This is a 55 Bel Air Tri-5, but we're gonna make it a gasser. So
The gasser, the front end sits high, there's a lot of chrome, they're very loud, they're very sleek and beautiful cars when you had beautiful lines on the cars. No car show is complete without a 55, and it's just over the top when they got a gasser there with a lot of chrome.
I would like this car just to envision be a mean-ass hot rod, something that people can look at and I can be proud of. I think I've done it the right way. You know, I haven't spent the money before I've had it. You know, I've waited a long time, so for me to be able to do this and find the good people to help me do it, it means a lot.
I like people to be happy with whatever we do for work, whether it's we're doing an oil change for somebody or we're doing a major project like this. The best part is the smile on people's faces and to know that you did something to make somebody else happy.
It's came a long way. I don't know, there's holes in the floor, nothing that looked like this. So it's came a long way. That's why when I see it, I smile, because just to see the progress on it, you know, it's awesome. These guys work very hard and they do a great job. So to find them and see the work they're doing, I'm excited about the finished product.
Now he's decided to go with a gloss black, which is a lot more work. The results are unbelievable though. And I can paint the car in pieces so when it's assembled, any way you run your hand is nice, smooth, really slick.
Yeah, I'm excited. Great seeing you, man. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Yeah, always a pleasure. And there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed walking through the car with me. It's came a long way, and I can't wait to show you guys the finished product.
I now know what Malik Jackson will be driving around during the off-season. Time to get into the kitchen with Game Day Grub, presented by Tico, People's Gas. This week, we're cooking up some lamb kebabs. For the full recipe and information about natural gas and available energy conservation rebates, visit peoplesgas.com/cooking. There's still more to come on TIAA Bank Jaguars weekend. The keys to winning the second half of the season are next.
We got to take it week by week, of course, but I mean, we do know we have 8 more. So the opportunity is great. We can kind of try to do what we envisioned doing the first 8, but just make it happen in these last 8.
Jalen Ramsey confident these next 8 weeks, that's for sure, joined again by Brian and John. The confidence of this locker room. We know they're a confident bunch. Have you noticed a difference this week?
Well, it's a quieter confidence. You expected it after 4 days away to sort of regroup, that they would come back and say, it's not over, we know what you got to do. I thought Jalen, when he talked on Thursday, was good, calm, upbeat. It was what you wanted to hear, and now you got to go do it on Sunday.
I take the other tack. I saw it in Miles Jack's eyes on Wednesday of this week, where I didn't see the confidence. Now, you know, that's one guy, I get it, but I'm not sure that I saw the confidence that even Jalen and Telvin were talking about. It's not desperation, but they're searching. They're, you know, and they've been challenged to search, so that's good. That's what you want them to do. But they've got to go win to restore any real confidence to this locker room. They haven't won in more than a month. These guys, Jalen was asked, have you ever had to pull out of something like this before? And he looked, he said, I haven't.
Yeah, most of these guys played on good college teams.
Right.
It's a point now where you have to sort of restore your own confidence by performance.
Absolutely.
Like I said, whatever you say during the week at this point,
it's meaningless.
One guy that we think is still confident in his abilities is Leonard Fournette. If we see him on the field on Sunday, how much is he going to help this offense?
Well, we'd like to ask him that, but he was internally focused this week, and we didn't get a chance to talk to him, which is disappointing because he's one of your star players, and you want him to express it. So we're keenly focused on what he does on the field on Sunday to see exactly where he's at. Don't know. I expect him to have a big game. The Colts are not a huge defensive front. I think the Jaguars can get things going against Indianapolis, but I don't know it because I haven't heard it from him.
Internally focused, I like that.
I got to come up with all new
You've got to come up with a way to get the 3 backs somehow to be versatile and productive. No 100-yard games for the running backs this year yet as a group in one game. That's key. If somehow you can get 150 out of the group, rushing and passing, I don't care if Fournette's getting 50, whatever. But if Fournette can help you toward that, then getting him back matters.
Quickly, guys, Andrew Luck, 23 touchdown passes this season. It seems like he's back and better than ever. How do you stop that guy?
Supposedly his arm strength perhaps isn't quite what it was, but his numbers, his performance with a bunch of players who are not elite players is as impressive a comeback as you've seen in a long time.
He hasn't been sacked the last 3 games. He's going to look great when that happens. 7 touchdowns, no interceptions in the last couple of games. But against the Patriots and Jets, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. They got to him. Got to get to him.
All right, well, let's see if the Jaguars start the second half of the season the way they want to, with a win. We'll see you next week on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend.